What's up, everybody, and welcome to another edition of High Mythology. The show where we get higher than a mountaintop where you leave a baby you don't want and tell you guys silly stories from mythology and folklore. Yeah. Today we will be continuing our O.G.s of Greece series with part 5, Atalanta. Hotlanta. Yeah. I actually totally thought her name was just Atalanta for so long. I was like, oh yeah, like Georgia.
Like there's an A there before the O.
There's an extra A there.
And this bitch has got 4 A's in her name.
Yeah, she spent all of her money on vowels.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. When it came to naming, all of the money went to vowels.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, we're smoking on a little bit of Cindy White today from the Rocky Mountain High Dispensary.
It's a little piney.
It's a little piney, but it's all right. Yeah. I mean, it's no magic weed like that shit we had before.
Yeah.
What was it? Jelly beans?
Pixie sticks?
Pixie sticks? There's a lot of weed names these days, guys.
Creamsicle.
Every weed's got a name.
We had creamsicle last week.
Yeah, they're all named after candies.
I know. That's all they had there, man. That's all they carry.
They got that candy weed.
Sativa types.
Yeah.
They're mainly an indica company.
Yeah.
Which is alright. Everyone can use a good indica. But they do have sativa too, so don't forget.
Yeah. Everyone could use a good indica is also a good thing for us to put on a t-shirt. So look for the everybody could use a good indica t-shirts.
Yeah. Bumper stickers.
Bumper stickers and shit.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. So I guess, without further ado, Kim. Oh, wait, I forgot to even mention the other big part of this. It's Atalanta and the hunt for the Caledonian Boar.
Thank you.
So that's
title it out and just be like that.
Yeah, that's a big thing too, because that was one of the big OG team ups. Way before Troy. And before even the Golden Fleece, which will be coming at you next week.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
So I had to get this first super goofy team up out of the way first.
Yeah, I understand. Atalanta, also known as the Pride of the Woods of Arcady. I believe.
Arcady!
She was a remarkably interesting character. Okay, so the weed's not that bad. Not only is she a woman that could hang with all the classic badasses, but unlike most of the big heroes, her divine lineage came from her mother. Or just naturally, depending on the story. Regardless of the lack of professional training that she's had, she could outshoot, outfight, and outrun any man around.
Yeah. Basically, she's what you describe as baddest bitches, I believe is what they called it back in the...
She'd be the top one. Top tier.
Top tier.
She's your badass bitch for any fucking show.
Yeah.
Resident Evil. She's Mila Kunovich.
I mean, she smokes dudes left and right, too. I love that. That she just makes a game of it.
Yeah, she just jokes about it. She don't give a shit, really. Let's see. Atalanta's father was either O.G.s or Shinosis.
Yeah, his name it's almost spelled like Scrotumus. I totally thought it was Scrotumus at first. Like, well, everybody's father was technically a Scrotumus.
That's true.
Yeah, and the testicules contained, yeah.
Oddly enough, both men were also just known as the father of Atalanta.
Mm-hmm.
But my money's kind of on it in O.G.s. Mainly because in, the stories he has mentioned... whatever he's mentioned in, she's given the mother, the Titan goddess Oceanade Clymene.
Clymene.
She's also Prometheus. Clymene, thank you. She's also Prometheus' mom, Epimetheus' mom.
Mm-hmm.
Either way, they wouldn't be a noticeably big part in Atalanta's adventures, but having that lineage for some people, just got to make sense of why a woman can outdo a man, huh?
Well, I think
she must be divine.
Too, the thing was that made me definitely think more towards what's his name, Eosis was the fact that, when they talk about Scrotimus, he pretty much, it's just like, Scrotimus had a daughter. And that was Atalanta.
Okay.
Yeah. And then with, with the other one, it's actually given more, like, it seems like someone actually put some story into it. Like, him and his wife had a child who was this person who became Atalanta instead of just like, no, Scrotimus totally had Atalanta.
Her father, upon realizing that he got a daughter instead of the son that he wanted, decided to pull the typical Greek dick move. I mean, that's a pretty dick move anywhere.
Yeah, but it's especially prominent in
Greece?
In the Greek stuff. I mean, we've had at least, I think, 2 or 3 of them that we've come across so far, where it's like, fuck it, throw them in the woods.
Oh, we got a couple of Russian ones like that, too. That's kind of everywhere.
Yeah, actually.
He decided that raising a daughter isn't worth his time. So he had his servants take her out to the woods and leave her there to die.
Yeah, I like that he couldn't even fucking get out to the woods himself.
I can't do this. You guys take this. I got shit to do. I gotta go get high.
Yeah. You're not gonna take her out there yourself? What part of I couldn't be bothered to raise a daughter do you not understand, servant?
That's like taking her to a soccer game. That's too much work already.
Too much work already. Yeah.
So she was left alone in the woods and found by a bear. And then the bear ate her. The end.
Mm-hmm. Great story.
Thank you. No, I'm just kidding. So the bear just so happened to be none other than Artemis in disguise.
Artemis!
She took Atalanta in and decided to raise her. And Atalanta would end up spending her first 10 years of her life living in the woods with her bear family. Basically like an ancient Greek Mowgli.
Mm-hmm. The bare necessities.
Homer's The Jungle Book.
Yeah. I would totally read that, by the way.
It sounds like it would be fun.
It was super cool until King Louis had to bang his own mom and then stab his eyes out.
Damn. Wait, which King Louis are we talking about?
Oh, wait, yeah, no, the one from the Jungle Book.
Okay.
He's talking about Homer's The Jungle Book.
Oh, okay. So at around 10, she was found by a group of hunters, and they took her in and taught her how to shoot a bow. Not long after... nice sound effects.
Pew, pew.
Not long after living with them, her skills surpassed the hunters, and no matter what, she never lost her connection to the forest. Once she hit her teenage years, she was given a prophecy. The Oracle.
Listen, honey, your marriage, one of these days you're gonna end up getting married, and it's totally not going to end well for you. I know this, though. Don't let it drag you down. I've been married 3 times, and each of them ended badly. But, at least I got some scars and a couple of children out of it. Don't get married.
Pretty sure the Oracle had to be a virgin in order to use her powers, but...
Well, that's what you always tell them, right?
Are you sure they weren't just puppies or kittens?
They were puppies or kittens that I popped out of my coochie.
Jesus. That was no problem for Atalanta. She had no interest in men or marriage. Like, fucking at all.
Yeah, I do imagine her hearing that prophecy, too, and just being like, cool, I kind of planned on just living in the forest anyway.
Mm-hmm. All Atalanta wanted in life was hunting and running wild. She decided at that point that she would guard her virginity. Not long after, she was approached by the centaurs, Rheosus and Hilasus.
Couple of bros.
And they were taken back by her beauty and her wild ways.
Hey, bro, look at that fucking chick.
So the centaurs did what centaurs do. They tried to rape her.
They're so fucking horrible in Greek mythology. They are so horrible.
This, blows my mind whenever I think of, Narnia.
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
Yeah.
That's the one, I was always like,
watch your back around that fucking centaur.
Battle centaurs and battle armor. Turns out they're super rapey.
Yeah. Well, and then there's the funny thing, too, is there's 3 of them, it seems like, that are totally cool, normal centaurs.
Uh-huh.
And then all of the other centaurs that are mentioned are just, rapey, alcoholic dude bros.
Jesus.
Yeah.
The real PC, huh?
Yeah. And then you get like, what was his name? I think it was Nessus. Not Nessus, because Nessus was the one who got killed. Cherion, I think, was one of them, who was like a wise old centaur.
Mm-hmm.
It was nice and kind. And other than that, all the other
I thought he
centaurs
worked
are
for
like,
Hades.
I just want to fuck. No, that's Karen.
No, Cherion, the centaur. Big blue dude.
Does he? Well, maybe he does.
I don't know.
The more you know.
I don't know. Anyway, we'll get into that. You know what? We'll look that up. I'll find out. Anyway. They started to chase her, but instead of running, she stopped and faced them. She fired 2 arrows, and both struck lethally. Shortly after that, she decided to go out into the world and find some adventure.
I'm going for adventure.
Let me take my Mary Poppins bag.
Mary Poppins.
That's what I'm starting to envision now.
Just imagine
It's just like a badass Mary Poppins running about. It wouldn't take long for an adventure to find her, in the form of a great hunt. A while back, the king of Caledon, O.G.s, was making his annual sacrifice at the harvest time. But when going down the list, he accidentally forgot to sacrifice to the goddess Artemis, the goddess of the hunt.
Yeah, you don't do that.
Anyone who knows Greek mythologies knows she is not one to be forgotten. She was pissed. So much so that she sent a giant boar down to ravage the farmlands and destroy the crops. The beast she sent came to be known as the Caledonian Boar.
The Caledonian Boar.
It was a massive, monstrous thing standing as tall as a man's shoulders with tusks that were compared to the elephant tusks in length. Worse yet, depending on the myth, it may have had flaming eyes, razor-sharp bristles, and shoots fucking lightning from its goddamn mouth.
Yeah. It was a wild
What the
creature.
fuck?
Yeah. Oh,
Why
crazy
does everyone
thing
have
too.
that too, actually?
Yeah.
You think about it, every fucking place in myth has a giant boar story.
Mm-hmm. Well, the funny thing is too, and I don't think we mentioned it in here, but there's 2 little things about the boar, and one of them was like Hercules was not involved in the Caledonian boar hunt at all.
Oh.
Because he had to be such a badass to go kill the Ermanthian boar on his own, which was another fucking giant boar.
Yeah.
But that was part of the story, because in his story, you notice he went and killed his own boar on his own, and that apparently is supposed to take place at the same time that this hunt is going on.
Interesting.
And it was apparently like a big dick move by Hercules writers.
Oh.
To be like, all you other guys had to take part in the fucking hunt for the Caledonian boar. Not Hercules. He fought a boar on his own.
Well, I'm sure that was just a mutated boar, and they were facing, like, you need, like, a group to take down Artemis's.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
You know what I mean?
And that's a big old hog. That's a big old hog. Right
I'm pretty sure, like, the Caledonian boar was more powerful than Hercules's.
And an interesting...
Yet there are people that need help, so...
An interesting thing about the Caledonian boar, too, and obviously nothing survived to modern times, but I think it was the year 700 CE that a dude actually saw it in like a guy who was a historian wrote about it because it was still on display at the Temple of Athena.
Oh shit.
Yeah, and he actually wrote about it and said that although it was decrepit because it was easily like ancient at that point, it was still bigger than any boar hide he had ever seen.
That's all.
And that the tusk was in a garden somewhere, and he saw that too.
Jesus.
And it was large,
Oh.
comparable to that of a small elephant. He said.
Oh, okay, interesting. Damn.
Which means it must have been like one of them like fucking Texas hogs.
Yeah.
800, 900-pound Texas hogs.
Shit, I bet you can find a 1-ton Texas hog.
Oh,
somewhere.
you can. Yeah.
Somewhere.
I've seen some of the fucking pictures of them from hunters down there that's just like, oh my god, you just killed a truck with fucking tusks.
Oh my god.
Yeah. Okay, sorry. Go ahead.
Alright, besieged by this monster, O.G.s put out a call for all heroes across Othe land.
Oh, the land.
Oh, across the land.
Othe? What is Othe?
I was like, that's an odd. Is that a zero? Zerothy?
Zerothi land. All across Zerothi land, the heroes came hither and wide.
And shit, boy, did they show up. There was Echion and Eurytus, the sons of Hermes. You had... Oh, sorry. I'm so sorry. Alcon, son of Ares. Asclepius, son of Apollo. There for medic attention.
Medic!
Euphemus, son of Poseidon. Dryas of Caledon, one of Caledon's greatest hero from another son of Ares.
Yeah, another son of Ares. Ares had some stock in this battle. He had a bunch of kids in it.
There was Castor of the son of Leda and the Swan.
Mm-hmm.
And
Castor's been all up in this bitch too. He's another one of those that's been.
Just talk about him.
Yeah. Yeah, we'll end up doing a Castor thing too.
I'm sure we'll have to.
Yeah.
The first ever trans hero, or at least that we've heard of, Canisius, I think. Canisius, as Ovid said, it was first a woman, but is now a man.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
That's what it says.
And it's weird too how quickly he just kind of grazes over that too, super quickly. It's like, oh yeah, and then there's this guy who was once a woman, but he's now a man. But we don't judge around here. This ain't Greece.
She hangs her dick out too.
Yeah. She rocks out with a bigger cock than fucking Theseus.
There was Ignatius, who just wields a giant battle axe. Some say too flamboyantly.
Look at my battle axe. Woo! I spin it around.
There was a couple of fathers whose sons would far outshine them, such as Peleus, the father of Achilles, and Laertius, father of Odysseus.
Mm-hmm.
Damn.
Yeah.
For at least from last week's episode and the 90s TV show, Aeolus with his papa Hercules and brother...
Hercules' brother, Epicles.
Epicles?
Yeah, that guy. Epicles.
Epicles.
But not Hercules. He did not show up. He refused to show up.
Yeah, no.
But we got the other actor from the 90s Hercules TV show. So.
We got Epicles and we got Aeolus.
Aeolus.
Alright. Some other returning homies from the previous episodes as well. We have Polydectus, Telamon. We got young Nestor from the Troy episodes. Mm-hmm. And as well as the brothers, not the brothers, the bros. Our bros, Perseus and Theseus, with their accompanying dicks out.
Dicks out till infinity.
Where's the hashtag?
Hashtag dicks out till infinity.
Nice. You have to say it twice.
Hashtag
so nice.
Dicks out until infinity.
Among all these new faces, one stuck out that will matter in the future. A young badass sailor named Jason.
Yeah.
In addition to all these great heroes, O.G.s had some family join in, namely his son Meleager, and his wife's brothers and sons of Theseus. Mm-hmm. As well as, there's so many fucking... There's too many.
We weren't gonna name them all. I went looking, and I basically cherry-picked. If I didn't hit one of your boys, and you're a mythology buff, and you're like, what about fucking Biggest Dickus? I apologize. But... not really. It was a list of like 35 motherfuckers, I think. We could have spent pretty much a whole episode just listing them and giving a brief description.
I mean, that's pretty much what the fucking theogony is about. Mm-hmm. I mean, I could relate.
Yeah.
I fucking know. Meleager was an interesting one. He was born... When he was born, the fate showed up to his mother, who was sitting by the fire. They threw a log into the fire and told her that once that log burns down, her son will die. But he shall remain living as long as it remains. And so as soon as the fates disappeared, She jumped up, took the log from the fire, and put it out. And she wrapped it in a blanket and stored it away in a chest for safekeeping. This made Meleager pretty much unkillable. And so he decided in his father's name that he would lead the group of heroes on the hunt.
I do like that one, too, because it seems like one of those where it's like, we're showing up just to let you know you've got an hour with your baby. Once this log is burnt down, he's gone. And then they leave, and she's like, fuck you, assholes, I got a bucket of water right here. This thing's going in a lockbox. My kid's immortal.
Fuck yeah. Back in the woods, Atalanta was living her best life with Artemis. She was living her best life when Artemis appeared before her. Sorry.
Hey, girl.
That weed's really taking effect now. Okay, so it's not so bad. It's not so bad.
It's not so bad.
Just get past the flavor. At this point in her life, it was well established that her and Artemis are like tight. Like Nursey with my bare nipples tight. Mm-hmm. So Artemis tells her about the great hunt that is about to go down in Caledon. And never being one to shy away from a hunt, Atalanta set off for Caledon, bow in hand. Caledonian
Boar.
Oh. Caledon.
Caledon. I like that better than Caledon.
Oh, damn, am I fucking just seeing the Y and the L backwards?
Caledon.
Or the L and the A are backwards for me.
It could be.
Wow. Okay, my bad. Depending on the myth, it is also said that Artemis told her that no one but her could draw first blood on the boar. When she showed up, it upset a lot of the men, and they couldn't bear the idea of hunting with a woman. One man, however, was taken back. Meleager had never once seen a woman like Atalanta before.
Oh my god, she doesn't even trim her pits.
Wow. That one took me back.
Her bush is stronger than most men's beards.
Oh my god.
You could hide Theseus's dick in that bush.
Truthfully, most of the men had never seen a woman like Atalanta before. But when Meleager was one of the few that was not scared by her. She must be intimidating with that bush.
You can't just roll it up on him like, what's up, bros? I'm confident as a man.
He fell in love with her, and sadly a love that would never be shared both ways. But she would always think of him as a good friend, you know?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, she friend-zoned him immediately.
Not bro.
He's like, oh my god, you're the most beautiful thing I've ever seen. And she just put out her hand for a stern handshake.
That's all we were.
Yeah. No, you're pretty cool too, little man.
They all set out, and after some time they came across the giant boar. They surrounded it to try and pin it in, but then Acanius broke formation. He started swinging around his big-ass battle axe over his head.
Look at me! Yeah.
A few of the old writers really use this opportunity to make fun of him.
So much, yeah. Yeah, there's a couple of them where they, what was his name? Fucking Apollodorus, I think it was, who he had a good couple quips about it that were making fun of how fucking... Because he basically has an awesome double-headed battle axe. But he just keeps spinning it around flamboyantly, almost like dancing with it, instead of ever just holding it and swinging it.
Yeah, when it was time to go in for the hit, he just kept winging it around flamboyantly like he was doing a dance. The boar rushed towards him and catching him in the groin with his tusks and spilling his guts all over the ground.
Yeah, they also get pretty graphic with that because they had a real dark sense of humor. So that was the punchline to the joke. Look how flamboyantly he swings his hammer, and look how his guts steam as they fall upon the ground. Ha 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 ha. Damn, you guys are fucked up.
Yeah, that's some dark shit.
That's dark humor back then.
After him, it quickly plowed through the 3 more people, killing them instantly. The group erupted into chaos, and some tried to rush it on their own. Others turned to flee. Polices threw his javelin and it missed, but it killed a man named Eurocian.
Yeah. It basically breaks down into a full-on, like, Three Stooges or Benny Hill routine instantly. Like, dude swinging his axe flamboyantly, guys are tripping over each other to run away, to charge it. Peleus throws his fucking javelin, sticks some random dude. Sorry! Oh shit, he's dead.
In all this chaos, Atalanta kept her cool. She kneeled down, pulled back her bow, and shot the arrow, hitting it in the chest. And it slowed down and fell over. And then Meleager came by with his spear and stabbed it in the throat.
I
got it, guys. It was taking a nap.
Taking a nap. I like to imagine, too, that the only word she said once the chaos broke down was just one of those light sighs, like, men. One arrow drops it.
For real. So Artemis's prize boar was slain. So O.G.s felt that his penance had been paid. Everything could go back to normal happy time again. Woo! Parties, dancing,
happy time,
women.
Let's get some wine and eat some pig, because we've got a lot of pig.
And pussy.
And pussy. We got a lot of pig and pussy, so I hope you guys are hungry.
What's the Texan saying? Paps, pussy.
Pork?
And pork.
I don't know. I've never heard that one, but I'll stick with it. I'll stand by that now. That's a good life to live, actually.
The 3 P's in life.
This is a pretty decent life to live.
It's not OPP, it's just called PPP.
PPP. And I'm not talking about protective gear.
Oh, no. Well, it could be one or the other for women, I guess.
No.
Just like that last P can go either way for whoever.
The last P is kind of different.
Little did O.G.s know that he had been part of Artemis's plan for vengeance. Almost immediately after the boar was slain, some of the heroes started fighting. Some claiming that Atalanta had brought them bad luck, and that is why so many had died. Others just mad believing.
She stabbed that guy with a javelin. Peleus, you threw the javelin. Oh, it was her bad luck.
Others were just mad believing that they could have gotten the kill had someone not been in their way.
Yeah, if she hadn't been in my way trying to shoot it, I could have got the kill. Weren't you running away, trampling a dude?
She was crouching.
She was crouching. You were running the opposite direction. You trampled that guy. That was her fault, too.
But undoubtedly, one of the biggest scuffles would come shortly afterwards. Even though Meleager had struck the final blow, he knew that the arrow was a killing shot, and that his spear had only quickened the death.
I like him for that, too, because that takes a lot of... I feel like that takes a lot of balls for a dude to admit it, especially in that scenario, like... Yeah, no, it was already pretty much dead.
It fell over, and then I
fell over, and I just came up and kind of went, ah!
No, brother, it was taking a nap. You won fair and square.
You won fair and square. It wasn't the woman, that dastardly woman who made us all run away.
So he did what any good man would do. I'm sure his love had something to do with it, and that's why he gave the pelt as the trophy to Atalanta. Mm-hmm. That thing stinks. Most of them understood that...
Dun, dun,
that
dun.
I lost my spot. I'm sorry. Most of them understood and were already celebrating Atalanta as the one who killed the boar. Meleager's uncles were not part of that group, though. They harassed Meleager, telling him that the pelt was his by right, and that if he were to pass it up, it should go to them, not some fucking hussy.
Yeah, and they actually call her a hussy.
Bitches.
Yeah. I wonder what the original Greek word was. I do want to know what the ancient Greek word that they used was, because like every translation I found literally used the word hussy. It was like, oh.
Interesting.
I wonder, yeah. What was the word they used?
Some go as far as to say that they even threatened to take it back by force. Regardless, Meleager was having none of that shit.
None of
As
it.
they lectured him, he pulled his sword and cut them all down.
Chow.
Damn, damn.
Yeah.
News of her brother's deaths made it back to Athea, Meleager's mother, and she was stricken with grief. She pulled the log from the chest and threw it into the fire. Meleager died as soon as the log burned out.
Yep.
Womp womp.
Oh, wait.
Now we're getting on the Greeks' witty side.
Now we're getting on that witty side.
Then, by what she had done, Athena hung herself from the tree. So fucked up.
That's so fucked up. Oh, God, that's such a horrible scenario.
This completed the revenge of Artemis. His farm's destroyed, his brothers are dead, his wife is dead, and his son is dead. O.G.s' penance was paid. One big takeaway from this is never forget about Artemis or she will fuck you up.
Yeah, you do not fucking forget about Art. Next time you're pouring one out for any occasion, you better name Artemis in that shit, because she gets pissed.
I know, she sent a raccoon last year.
Yeah.
And that baby.
Killed our
They put that
garden.
baby bear in our
And
backyard.
put a baby bear in our backyard. All because when I sacrificed to Zeus, I didn't sacrifice to her. Sorry, Artemis. I'm sorry. Yeah. Yeah. I mean, because that is such a... I feel like that is such a heavy price to pay compared to...
Yeah.
Especially compared to some of the prices that, like, the different gods have to pay or whatnot.
Mm-hmm.
Or make people pay. It's like, oh, you have to go be a servant for a year. And she's like, oh, you forgot to drop me an apple when you dropped an apple for everyone else?
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna take your fucking farms. I'm gonna take your fucking wife. And I'm gonna make your kid kill your brothers. Like, oh,
Jesus Christ. Bro.
I'm sorry, I didn't mean it.
God,
I'll give you 2 apples now if we could just not.
Why can't gods be nice here?
Yeah. The gods must be crazy.
They must be. Oh. After the boar hunt, Atalanta had become somewhat famous. She did as most of the other heroes did afterwards and went on to Argos to take place in the quest for the Golden Fleece. She's coming next week.
Fleece. Yeah, that's
The
coming
fleece
next
is coming
week.
next week.
And that's going to be a pretty big, fun, epic tale involving all of the heroes that we have done so far. So we're basically building up to an epic crossover. You're going to get the whole story of Jason, and in addition to that, the entire quest for the Golden Fleece. So, hope you're ready to get fleeced, motherfuckers.
Afterwards, Atalanta stayed with them for a bit to party down. Coincidentally, beating Palasus at wrestling.
Mm-hmm.
If you listened to last week's episode, Palasus is the guy that taught Hercules to wrestle.
Yeah. So she beat Hercules' wrestling teacher
Yeah.
at fucking wrestling.
She'd never done it before either.
No. That's the funny thing, too, is it's just like, okay, let's wrestle.
You tell me the basics, I'll fucking get you.
I'll get you. I got you. I'll get you.
It was in Argos that she found out who her true parents were, and in an odd turn of events, she forgave them and went to live with them. Her father, having heard of her great deeds, was happy to have her back. She was a daughter, but she behaved like a son.
Yeah.
Oddly,
And that's his big thing, too. Like, I don't want to raise a daughter. Oh, I got a daughter now, and she's like a son. Okay, I'm cool with that. I will not do so much as to carry her out to the woods, though. I swear to God.
you gotta do that yourself.
Yeah. That's why I got servants.
I don't got time to take her to band practice.
Yeah.
She in the band? I don't know. I don't want to know.
I don't want to know. What does she play? Everyone plays something these days.
So oddly enough, he still made her look for a husband. Remembering the bad omen she had gotten about marriage and her forever virginity pact, she came up with an awesome plan to stay single. She declared that she would only marry a man who could beat her in a foot race. But if she were challenged and won, she got to kill the suitor.
And you know, the the whole parents angle
Mm-hmm.
and the whole fucking marriage angle, they're just so out of character for me. It seems so weird for that character, like the way they've made her behave to just be like, well, I'm gonna go back and live with the guy who dropped me off in the woods, and I'm gonna be totally okay with him now
Right?
telling me how I have to live my life and forcing me to get married. Like, you weren't even gonna leave the woods.
For real.
Why would you have left the woods at all? And it still says throughout her story, during this whole part, she still pretty much goes to the woods most of her time.
Yeah.
She spends most of her time just doing athletics, beating dudes, and fucking hanging out in the woods. Which sounds like a pretty cool life.
Yeah. I mean, if you're into that shit. I don't really like the woods. Sorry. I live out here in the woods.
It'd be so hard for us to record our podcast
I'm
out
too
there.
old for that shit nowadays.
We'd have to get the coconuts, the string.
She thought for sure that with these stipulations, no man would be so bold as to show up. But boy, was she wrong. Her fame had spread all around Greece, and everyone knew of the pride of the woods of Arcady.
Arcady.
beautiful-
The pride of the... You ever seen the pride of the woods of Arcady? Arcady? Old Arcady!
The beautiful maiden who had slain the Caledonian Boar
She
and
took our
sailed with the
dance.
Argonauts. There were dozens of suitors regularly, but none of them were able to match her speed. And it is said that she would often make fun of this by showing up in heavy armor, or naked, or even giving the man half of the race worth of a head start.
Yeah. She had a lot of fun with how bad she could beat everyone at a foot race. Yeah.
No
Like,
one ever came close.
Yeah, you go on and get up there. I'm wearing concrete shoes. I'll see you at the finish line, bitch.
No, right. No one ever came close, and her stack of heads were piling up.
Mm-hmm. Literally,
Eventually-
there was a picture where she had the race set up with the finish line, and just next to the finish line was just a stack of heads.
Jesus.
Yeah, she just had a big ass stack of heads and a big smile on her face too. Like,
I did this.
I did this. And push.
Get my fucking trophy.
Yeah.
My trophy pile. Eventually, a young man named Hippomenes.
Hippomenes.
Hippomenes. Came to see her. He was in love. But he knew that there was no way he could beat her in the foot race.
I don't even jog.
So Hippomenes went to the temple of Aphrodite and prayed for her to help him.
Please.
She showed up with 3 of the golden apples of Hesperides. Hesperides, thank you. Which seem to be all over the place these days, you know what I mean?
Yeah, they're like the pathway to the underworld. Like, at this point, when we started these way back in Perseus, it was like, the golden apples of Hesperides.
I know, right? It's like...
the path to the underworld. Now it's like, just take a left at the path to the underworld and you'll find the garden of the golden apples.
It's like, come on, guys. Keep your secret garden secret.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Right? Nice. Anyway, moving on. She offered him the 3 irresistible apples, asking that he sacrifice a lamb to her after they were married.
So
He
win-win,
agrees.
except for the lamb.
Yeah, that don't win.
The lamb does not win. What about my ones?
So he agrees and challenges Atalanta to a race. With his magic apples in tow, they started off and she zoomed ahead of him. But as she did, he threw one of the apples in front of her and she stopped to pick it up.
Oh.
This let him
Look, a
almost
shiny.
catch up. And after a while, he threw another apple. This one slightly off trail.
Oh shit, look, an apple. Better go get it.
She stepped off to grab it and caught up to her, and he had caught up to her. Next, he threw the third apple, this time far off track. Atalanta turned and ran for the apple, giving Hippomenes
Ooh,
time
look at the shiny.
to cross and finish the line before she could catch up.
Look at the shiny.
Just like a parrot.
Yeah.
Or a
Ooh.
crow.
Ooh.
That's
Or me when I'm trying to go on
cat.
any
Yeah, she's an
outdoor
animal.
activity.
She's an animal, of course. There's
It's
something
something shiny flies by. Ooh, look at the shiny.
Shit, that's even what attracts fucking some ocean out.
Yeah.
Winning the race, Hippomenes could marry her. With
Yay!
marriage, her wild, woodsy lifestyles and her days of grand adventure, as well as her forever virginity pact, were long gone.
Yeah. Gotta unlock that cooch now that you're married.
I mean, it kind of seems weird that she would be, like, expected to be a housewife after all of this, you know?
Yeah, you don't. That's not something. It's like I said, this whole chapter, other than the foot race and the pile of heads, I feel like the foot race and the pile of heads totally tracks for her character.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
But the entire rest of it doesn't really
add up.
Fit in with her character
They're
at all.
They're just turning her into a
Which
chick.
is like, okay.
She's time to be fucking married.
Time for her to be married and go be married and be a woman.
But the breaking of the virginity pact is also an interesting one as well. Mainly because of how she took it. Depending on the myth, she was really stoked to have it broken. But more on that in a minute.
I just realized the writing there. So let's go back at sentence. The virginity pact is interesting, depending on how she took it.
Nice.
I shouldn't even realize that. Writing it. That was a pun intended pun. Unintended pun.
Well, here's an unintended one. Depending on the myth, she was really stroked to have it broken.
Is that a system? Did I actually? No. I thought that was a spelling error on my part. I was like, that would make sense.
Shortly after her marriage, she had a son named Partheniopus.
Partheniopus.
Oddly, she did to the kid what was done to her. And she left him on the mountaintop to die.
It's another thing that just doesn't track for the character. Like, why would you do that if you're like, man, it was crazy how my parents left me out there. You're like, I got a baby.
Because you were a daughter.
I'm gonna leave it up on the mountain.
Everyone wants the son to carry the name.
And then I also have the second wonder. Like, what if she did it because of how badass she turned out? She's like, I'm just gonna go drop him somewhere. Like, everyone that happens to literally turns into a badass. Like, why wouldn't I just go drop my kid in the woods? He's gonna come back.
Maybe Hera's gonna go down as a peacock and fucking let him suck on her
Let him suck on her tits, or
I don't know. What did
some of the other gods, any of the other ones that
she
do
can feed
it?
him worms.
Yeah.
I don't know what fucking
Maybe, I don't know. It worked for Theseus. It worked for Perseus.
Anyway, the boy was rescued and eventually went on to be a hero in another story. So yes, it did work.
Yeah, it totally did, actually.
Some stories say that she had it before her marriage and that there was no father, or that it was the child of Meleager before he died. Anyway, back to the newlyweds. So, the story goes that after they got married, both being virgins before...
I guess I forgot to mention that was the third option, is that she had it with her husband. I totally forgot that's the one that's actually most commonly hinted at, is that it was Hippomenes' son.
Yeah.
And it was, I forget which god it was,
Hippomenes.
but one, Hippomenes, I forget which god or deity or creature it was, but something did show up on the mountains and nurse him. So it does pretty much track with the classic Greek rule of, like, just toss your kid into the woods. Like,
that'll be fine.
Yeah, you'll get fucking...
Someone will raise it.
Hermes came down as a cow and nursed him, so now your kid can run super fast.
Yeah. So the story goes that after they got married, both being virgins before, they got caught up in a week's worth of marital bliss. So much so that Hippomenes totally forgot about the sacrifice, and Aphrodite got pissed. One day, when the lovers were coming out of the cave for a breath of air, because they had been banging all goddamn day.
Oh, God, is it bright out here?
And they were taking a walk past the temple of Zeus, and Aphrodite's got them. She struck them with lust. And they went into the temple and got down on the altar in there.
Yeah, right on the altar.
Yeah, I guess, yeah. In some stories, Aphrodite's didn't even make them do it. They were just freaks like that.
Yeah.
Either way.
That's actually the one, because I kind of like that story also, because just of how silly it gets as far as
that's human nature.
Yeah,
Those people do that.
Like, yeah, they were both virgins going into it, and she had spent all of her years around all of the baddest dudes who were trying to get a piece, and she's like, no. And then eventually she gets with Hippomenes, and she's like, well, I guess we've gotta. And then after both of them are like, oh my fucking god, that was awesome. You want to go bang on the altar to Zeus?
I mean, when we first started dating, we definitely had our odd areas.
Yeah, you catch someone at the right point in their relationship. It's anywhere and everywhere.
Yeah, it's
anytime and all the time.
Yeah. Either way, Zeus saw what they were doing, and after rubbing one out, he decided to punish them.
Because I totally imagine that being Zeus watching him. He's like, "This is disgusting."
Starts stroking.
Yeah. Okay. I'm gonna finish and
nobody can see you doing your hand strokes.
No one can see me, but I'm doing it just to round out the character.
He turned them both into lions and made them run wild into the woods. And there are some funny aspects to his punishment.
Yeah.
Like that one is like the best happy ending she could get, And two, the biggest reason that they were both turned into lions is because ancient Greeks thought lions could only mate with leopards.
Yeah.
Way to do your research, Zeus.
Yeah, they're both going to be lions now. Now there's no way they can fuck, because lions can only fuck leopards. Oh. Wait, what are they doing? Oh, no way, they're not supposed to be able to do that. Well, what did you turn them into? A male and female lion? Well, yeah, they're going to fuck. They're lions. And then they're going to go run through the woods. Like, that's literally the best happy ending she could get.
Yeah, for real.
She gets to live in the woods as the ultimate huntress.
The ultimate, yes.
Yeah. And fucking Hippomenes
still went over and said, hey, what's up, dude?
Yeah, Hippomenes, he got lucky, too. He got to come into this story late, just bust nuts, and then turn into a male lion, which means he's just gonna lounge about all day.
Yeah.
And bust more nuts. And fucking...
She's just gonna willingly come to him and let a flock of them come to her.
Yeah.
Think about it. Or it could just be them.
I'm sure they'll probably only... I mean, I don't know. You never know in that situation. Well, but I would think they would probably only bang each other.
Maybe.
It depends on how lion-y they are. If they still have any retention of humans, because I don't know, I'm sure after a little while, if you're a lion.
How many lions are in Greece?
Now?
I mean, then.
Then tons.
Tons?
Yeah.
That's odd.
I thought that too, because I was really curious. Well, I guess in that point, when they were writing this, some. But before there were tons. And it was like, I think 2000 something BC. Don't quote me on that. But I know it was in the BCs that they pushed back most of them to Africa.
Interesting.
And then, yeah, they eventually, I think it was by like 400 or 500 AD, there were no lions.
Damn.
In Greece
they got their boars, though.
I think they still have pigs. Yeah, they still have boars.
Boars
I don't think
everywhere.
I think they pushed back all the big cats, though. I'm pretty sure they had other big cats, too.
Clearly leopards.
Leopards, yeah, I guess leopards too. Because they don't have those anymore, I'm pretty sure.
Mm-hmm.
So they had to have pushed those back. Yeah.
Interesting.
Zeus
didn't do his research, though.
Yeah. Kind of makes it sad, though, when you hear about all those stories of, like Hercules slayed the Nemean lion, and he slayed this other lion. And it's like, bro, calm down. Greek lions are an endangered species at this point.
For real. What's dead is dead.
Yeah.
Let it go.
Oh, yeah.
No, I have to kill it.
I got to kill it, bro.
Well, yeah,
there he goes. Watch me clap this
definitely
lion.
A special individual, so he wouldn't have stopped anyway.
Oh, yeah. So, yeah, our sources for this episode. I've been using I've been trying to use the same few sources for all of these episodes, just because, the more different sources I track down, the more the story just starts to vary. Because of how many different versions there are. So, my main sources again, GreekMythology.com. They've got both a page on Atalanta and on the hunt for the Caledonian Boar. The Great Greek Myths, an Amazon Prime original. Our book, our fucking tome of Greek knowledge, Mythology, Timeless Tales of Gods and Heroes by Edith Hamilton. The 75th anniversary edition is what we're rocking. So, and in that, referencing the works of Ovid, Homer, Apollodorus, Euripides, Sophocles, Plutarch, and probably a couple more that I'm forgetting to name. Because there's a bunch.
Nice.
There was a bunch. The Caledonian Boar had so many. Too.
So many
that
different
was another
people,
one too that had so many different writings. Yeah.
You need to just narrow down to a few that you're basing it off of.
And then just for good reference, because they have great descriptions and actual art pieces, Britannica.com. Yeah.
Nice.
Get that encyclopedia life.
Don't forget to like, comment, or subscribe.
Yeah.
With that notification bell, you'll know when the next episode's coming out.
Yeah. Help us spread the word. Share this with your friends.
Mm-hmm.
If you like it, let people know.
Yeah.
Yeah. And let us know, too.
Yeah.
Because we love to hear from you guys.
Give us some kind of suggestions. Give me a different... Just throw a country my way and be like,
throw a country our way, yeah. We've got the Polish poll, the conclusion of the Polish poll. We are going to be working on Chorts, Chernobog, and other Slavic demons.
Woo!
Woo! We'll probably have that coming here in a few weeks. I'll probably start doing the research for all that action after I wrap up this great fucking Greek epic saga. Not sure exactly how much more we're going to go. I'm thinking just one, but I might be tempted to throw in a little Castor and Pollux short at some point.
I mean, I don't blame you. It's fun.
Yeah, they're all up in that shit.
Yeah.
And we've talked about them like 7 times, so I feel like it's about time for them to get their own short.
Indeed.
Yeah. Thank you, everybody, for listening. You guys have been crushing it. You've been just driving up our numbers. We couldn't be happier with all of you. And I really hope you're all enjoying the episodes as well. Yeah. And I think that's gonna do it for the night. So have a good night, folks.
Good night, guys.